Comrade Sindiso Mfenyana represents the ghastly generation of courage, of fire, and of determination. Today we hear from him as the author of Walking with Giants. Comrade Sindiso had trudged the perilous and precipitous path for the attainment of non-racialism, non-sexism, and a democratic order in South Africa.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you one of the stalwarts of our liberation movement who decided to chronicle his own story. The importance of writing our own stories can never be overemphasized. We live in an era where our stories get lost or appropriated by strangers who interpret them in ways different from what we have experienced. We've also seen some of our treasure troves perishing without documenting their own stories. The old adage, when an old person dies, a library burns, rings true of the story of our liberation struggle in South Africa. Fortunately, our veteran and very important cadre that I'm introducing to you today managed to pen his own story, and by extension, the story of our liberation movement and the story of South Africa. Comrades and friends, please welcome the veteran of our liberation movement and the author of Walking with Giants, Comrade Sindiso Mfenyana.
I am rather rarely in my life speechless. Thank you very much, Comrade Jeff. I didn't, some of the things you've said about me, even I myself was not aware of. But still, I accept that you didn't cook them up from somewhere. I'm not intending to recite this over 300 pages book. I think there will be enough time for whoever buys it to go through and learn this story. I just want to say briefly, having had this fortunate life, and when we were in exile and received the young people after the student uprising of 1976, we then asked particularly the African countries to help to receive and accept our young students, because most of them had not completed their studies. Africa responded magnificently. They were not interested in certificates or anything. They just said, we will accept what they say they've passed and put them at the next level. It was only at the end of 1977 that we became aware how far things have changed since the time we were students in South Africa. The bulk of the students could not make it, not because they didn't try to understand or study, but because some of the subjects they had studied are not counted as examination subjects in the rest of the world. To talk of home economics, to talk of religious instruction, to talk of mother tongue study, those three subjects immediately fly out of the window if you go outside of the country. So we realize that for our young people to be able to continue, we need to set up our own school. Now the ANC has got a habit of giving you first a title and then expecting you to live up to it. I was told I am now secretary for professional bodies, except that there were no professional bodies. So it meant I had to help to create them. And the first one, obviously, was the Department of Education. This was followed by the Department of Health, Department of Arts and Culture, the Legal Department, the Economics Unit. So all these I'm counting, not to claim that I actually created them. My job was to find the people who would run them.